Hi guys, Buildzoid here, and welcome to the other channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a little performance monitoring utility that I've written for my game, because I've known for a while that there are performance issues with my game, but I've not really been able to judge the scale of the issues just using the Godot profiler, because Godot engine does have a profiler built in, but I am not very good at understanding what it's saying. Okay, so instead of using that, what I've gone ahead and done is I've just written a little panel over here that lives on the bottom right corner of the player's screen that spits out delta numbers. Um, so because delta for Godot in the process function here, uh, if I remember correctly, it tracks like the time between two past frames or something. So if you put a bunch of calculations into the process function, right, or like you run a whole bunch of calculations in the process function, it's going to blow up the delta value. Like you're going to get a really big delta after that if there's like a bunch of calculations that get run. And so I was thinking, like, well, if stuffing the process function with a bunch of garbage makes the delta value go up and down, right, then I should be able to tell um, what is ruining performance by just looking at the delta numbers. And then we just need a way of like capturing delta numbers. And so what I've written is this little panel, right? And the idea with this panel is that we have an average delta, which is just the last two delta values divided by 2. This isn't really that useful. It basically is a awkward way of looking at the game at the average frame rate. And Godot does have a built-in FPS counter. That's this thing right here. I don't like it very much because it updates very slowly. So not really that useful for actually troubleshooting major performance issues like of the kind that I've created. It's also not very good for giving you like if you have a game and it feels bad, this will still potentially give you a very high frame rate. The big like I've already recorded this video. Like this is a second attempt at this video. In the previous attempt, what I realized is that this little profiler panel, or as I call it, that I've made, um, it actually shows in the worst 1000 delta the effect of capturing the game with OBS. Because I've known for ages that capturing the game with OBS makes it feel worse. But the FPS counter doesn't show that. This does. This shows that very clearly. Um, so anyway, yeah, so the idea behind this is basically it gives you raw delta values so you can judge if like, hey, there was a past frame, like there was a frame where the process function was just completely stuffed with garbage and maybe I should not do that. Um, so anyway, let's take and the way this is set up is like this. So this value over here resets every 100 frames. This value resets every 1000 frames if there isn't a worse frame. Okay, so basically, if the performance was continuously getting worse and worse and worse, these don't reset. But if nothing like bad for performance happens for a while, they do reset, right? So after 100 frames, they reset. I'm also thinking of adding a sticky worst delta where it's like you manually, like I'll add a hotkey and you press that hotkey and um, yeah, that'll do that. I kind of wonder how Godot handles inputs though. Anyway, I guess I might just shove it in the process function or something. Um, Actually, that's a bad idea. Oh, well, whatever. So let's just take a look at how this works. Because currently, like the main issue right now is like if I want to look at a very specific bad event, I need to like pause the game right after the bad event. Um, which isn't that hard because that 1000 frame reset, like it resets after about a second of runtime. So even with a pretty miserable reaction time, you can usually catch whatever event it is that you want to look at. So anyway, let's go to the training grounds. And right now you can see in the bottom, or I don't know if you guys can see. I can see. Actually, I'll just make the game smaller so that you guys can see. There we go. Yeah, there. Um, I should maybe add like a custom resolution function. But anyway, so if we resume now, you can see how the average is in the 0.0034 territory, which lines up with that 2,500 FPS that we're getting on the left, right, which is the readout from the Godot engine. But you also notice that sometimes the 0.1% low ticks up into the 0.01 territory, right? So we're getting like some, like the 0.1% low for this is actually like 1,000 frames per second right now. At least if I did the scripting correctly. But anyway, so just moving around the game world isn't really a problem, as you can see, right? Like, the game runs fine. Interestingly enough, even the AI, like, I can spawn in, like, the spawner in this building is limited to 10 enemy AI right now. I might add something to, like, give the player the ability to configure different AI limits, but anyway, if we spawn in like a bunch of shielded regenerators, which I think are a pretty fancy looking enemy, right? Like they have a regenerating health effect and all that. Like, yeah, they don't really do anything to the frame rate. Like, yeah, we're not at 2,500 frames per second anymore, but this is not running that badly. So I should have given myself some invulnerability. Oh, I botched that. There we go. Some invulnerability. I don't feel like having the... Oh, I just botched that again. Okay, don't touch the health pickups. It's a really jank invulnerability implementation. That's kind of intentional. I kind of find it funny when it's like a misuse of the damage system to get the player stupid amounts of health. But anyway, actually, you might already be noticing that as I'm killing off these enemies with the shotgun, the 0.1% lows are not having a good time, and that is the problem. The shotgun in this game, for some reason, well, I mean, I'll eventually figure out the reason. Like, the thing is, I've only just implemented this performance tracking widget. I've not actually, like, tried to debug why it is that the shotgun is so incredibly expensive. Like, you'd think that this, like, piercing rocket launcher effect that I have, right? You'd think that would be expensive, but it's really not. Right? Oh, damn it. The game just rescaled. So, yeah, that's not actually, like, yeah, it causes some performance drop, but it's not, you know, the end of the world. Like the shotgun is. Even though that is doing a shape cast every single time it collides with anything. I would have thought that would be expensive as hell, but no. No, that is actually relatively cheap compared to the absolute dumpster fire that is my shotgun. So if I shoot the shotgun into empty space, it's fine. Like, yeah, it's obviously pulling the 0.1% lows up, but it's not that bad. If I point it at a wall, it takes 4 milliseconds. It takes 4 milliseconds to run. Like, let me, come on, OBS, give me a, no. There we go. Nope, I grabbed the wrong thing. Right? It takes 4 freaking milliseconds. This shotgun drops the frame rate anytime it's fired at a wall or a solid object, like an enemy, a wall, anything. It drops the frame rate to 250 FPS. That is assuming that nothing else is happening in my game. I have no idea. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, right? Machine gun, right? And we're like spewing out ammo out the side, right? There's like physics going on. Admittedly, those run in the physics thread, but you know, the machine gun, okay, that runs at like 1,000 frames per second. The shotgun? Like, it's going all the way up to like 0.08. Like, we're dropping into like 120 FPS territory. Like, right now it's at 0.063. Right? Let me just pull up the calculator. Like, I've written a like, It's so bad. It's just like I don't even know what it's doing that it runs so badly. Um, but anyway, let me just quickly. So 1 divided by, because 1 second by 0.0635, right? Because that's our millisecond. I mean, that's what delta is. We're running at 157 FPS if I shoot the shotgun. Like, what is this doing? Right? You shoot it into empty space, it's fine. Right? It's not a big deal. It's still drawing all of the bullet traces. It's still running a raycast. But if that raycast actually hits anything, it just eats the frame rate. I have no idea why. I am just I plan to figure out why. Like, I'm just gonna go into the code for the shotgun and just turn bits and pieces of it on and off until, you know, it stops doing that. But yeah, like, I do find that really, really interesting and very concerning, right? Because it's not that fancy. Like, you'll even notice that the shotgun doesn't draw as many bullet holes as it has rate casts. Oh, actually, you guys can't see that, but it doesn't draw all the bullet holes. Right, so I'm just gonna resume. Right, like, you can see how there's more rate casts than there are bullet holes, and that was like, oh, I'm gonna try make it not eat the frame rate so much, but yet it eats the frame rate. If anything, it seems like that might have been an anti-optimization or something. I don't know. But yeah, like, this is bad. So yeah, so I need to figure out what's up with that. And also, I wanted to show off this little, like, delta monitoring tool that I made. And I mean, you can just make it yourself. Like, you can literally just copy the code and make this thing. And if you have a game and you have like it feels weird, or it feels stuttery, or it feels, you know, or you have some kind of effect where it's like, oh man, it seems to be like killing the frame rate. This is, I think, probably one of the best ways to try figure that out, or like to try like measure it, because yeah, I tried using the profiler, and like, I've known from looking at the profiler that like the shotgun is bad, but I didn't know how bad. Like, I just couldn't, like, from looking at the profiler, I couldn't read it, because it was like I'm guessing the issue is that the shotgun like runs a bunch of function calls or something. And in the profiler, it's like, oh yeah, there's just this big fat stack of function calls, but it doesn't tell you like, oh, this took forever, right? Or like the profiler is like, oh yeah, the process function is taking a long time, and it's like, yeah, but why? So I don't know. I might be really bad at using the profiler is my theory, but like, yeah. Like, I'm just really sort of like, I'm, one, surprised that the shotgun is as bad as it is, and two, kind of happy that like everything else seems to run fine. Especially that effect. Like, I really thought that this would be just ludicrously expensive, and it just isn't. Also, you'll notice that sometimes it randomly, the 0.1% lows get really bad. I believe that's just due to OBS recording the game right now, because I've known for a while now that, like, actually, yeah, I've known basically forever that, like, for whatever reason, running this game with OBS capturing it makes it not run very good. So yeah, anyway, actually, you know what? It might be interesting to see some FPS limiting in action. So now we're at 360 FPS, so you can see how the frame times, like, right now, there's nothing like overloading the frame rate. So if we fire this off, okay, it has a bit of a performance impact, but, you know, nothing world-ending. And actually, oh, that might have just been a random stutter, I guess. Yeah, because, okay, it has some impact, but it's really, like, it's not that bad. And then there's the shotgun. Yeah. Yeah, the shotgun does not run at 360 FPS. In fact, I don't think it will stop affecting the frame rate until we are at, like, 130 or something. Yeah, so now you can see how the 0.1% lows no longer react to the shotgun being terrible, because the shotgun runs at 130 FPS. on a 7800X 3D. I am a good programmer. That was sarcasm. But yeah, like, you know, um, this shotgun needs to get freaking fixed because as of right now, it is a catastrophe. Um, actually, I'm really not sure what's causing it. Um, like it's probably tied to the like bullet impacts or the logic for the bullet impacts or like something. It might be, yeah. I like hopefully I'll fix it. The point of this video was to just show off that like, hey, this is, I don't know if this is the best way, but this is a way that I've found for myself to like try figure out what did I do wrong when writing my freaking game as far as performance is concerned. And evidently what I've done wrong is implement the shotgun the way I've implemented it. So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully you found this somewhat interesting, if not particularly useful. And thanks for watching, and goodbye, I guess. Um, actually, I will show the code one last time. Because, yeah, it's just a couple lines. Also, I would probably recommend that you have an option for, like, doing something like if game... no, I have globals. So if globals dot... I don't have a variable for this right now, but if you wanted a setting for hiding this, right? Because... Or you could just remove it from your final build, but... Yeah, like the way I usually do it, like I would personally do it that I'll just have like a variable in the globals, and in the settings panel you can just tell it to delete itself when the game is running. So yeah, because obviously like running this does have like like running this obviously has a little bit of performance impact, but compared to what my shotgun is doing, this is free. This doesn't cost anything. Oh boy. Anyway, yeah, that's it for the game. I mean, the video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.